In the universe of The Boys, few characters evoke as much dread and complexity as Homelander. As the ultimate superhero, powerful, charming, and ruthlessly efficient, he embodies a grotesque version of the American dream. With his striking looks and godlike abilities, he should be the epitome of heroism. Yet, behind the shiny facade lies a deeply traumatized individual, molded into a monster by abuse and exploitation. Rather than simply labeling him a villain, it is crucial to delve deeper into his backstory and recognize the layers of victimhood that contribute to his tragic existence. Homelander, born John, was created under horrifying circumstances. From the very start, his life was one of experimentation, devoid of parental love or normal childhood experiences. Vought International, the corporation that engineered him, treated him as a mere product rather than a human being. John was subjected to rigorous tests, all designed to enhance his abilities and ensure his loyalty to Vought. He was raised in a sterile laboratory, surrounded by cold scientists who viewed him as a tool rather than a person. This lack of nurturing created a significant emotional deficit. Unlike traditional heroes who often find their strength through love and support, Homelander was stripped of the very essence of what makes us human. Vought's relentless pursuit of profit over empathy rendered him vulnerable to manipulation and control, leading to a life defined by isolation and pain. The trauma of his upbringing would go on to shape every aspect of his personality and behavior. One of the most striking elements of Homelander's character is his fragile ego. Despite his immense powers, he is constantly seeking validation. This need for approval stems from his childhood, where he was not only neglected but also abused. The experiments he endured instilled a deep-seated fear of rejection and abandonment. As a result, his desperate quest for admiration manifests in disturbing ways. For example, when he feels slighted, he reacts with explosive anger. This is not merely a characteristic of a bad guy, but rather a reflection of his internal struggles. His acts of violence can often be seen as misguided attempts to reclaim some sense of control in a life where he was constantly under the thumb of Vought's experiments. In moments of rage, we witness not just a supervillain, but a child lashing out in fear and confusion. A child who never learned how to cope with rejection or loss. Vought International is not just a backdrop to Homelander's story. It is a crucial player in his transformation into a villain. The corporation carefully crafted his image, shaping him into the perfect hero while hiding the darkness of his origins. The marketing of Homelander as an invincible savior serves Vought's financial interests, allowing them to profit from the fear and admiration he generates. This manipulation runs deeper than simple corporate greed. It reflects a broader societal tendency to commodify power and idolize individuals who embody that power, regardless of the moral implications. Homelander's identity is inextricably tied to Vought's branding. He is not just a hero. He is a product of a capitalist machine that prioritizes profits over people. This relationship is parasitic. While Vought uses Homelander to bolster their reputation and profits, they simultaneously strip away his autonomy and humanity. The tragic irony is that the more he embodies the ideals Vought promotes, the more he feels like a hollow shell. This disconnect contributes to his loneliness and confusion, leaving him desperate for genuine connection but unable to forge any meaningful relationships. Homelander's immense powers create an illusion of invulnerability, but they also serve to isolate him further. He is feared and revered, yet never truly understood. His strength becomes both a weapon and a prison, keeping others at bay while deepening his sense of alienation. The more powerful he becomes, the more removed he is from the ordinary human experience of love, empathy, and connection. In his interactions with others, whether they are members of the Seven or the general public, Homelander employs manipulation and deceit. He struggles to form authentic relationships, often resorting to controlling behaviors to maintain the upper hand. His pursuit of dominance is not just a reflection of his superhuman abilities, but a desperate attempt to find meaning in a life marked by abuse and betrayal. This isolation is particularly evident in his interactions with other characters. For instance, his relationship with Queen Maeve reflects his struggle for connection. He is drawn to her strength and independence, yet his need for control makes genuine intimacy impossible. When Maeve resists his advances or challenges him, Homelander's violent tendencies surface, showcasing how his inability to accept rejection fuels his aggression. In these moments, we see a man torn between his desires for companionship and the deep-seated fear of being abandoned once again. To label Homelander simply as a villain is to overlook the tragic dimensions of his character. His monstrous actions stem from profound pain, confusion, and a desperate need for love and acceptance. While he wreaks havoc and instills fear, the roots of his behavior can be traced back to a lifetime of abuse and manipulation. This perspective invites us to consider the broader implications of his story, raising questions about the societal structures that contribute to the creation of such beings. The story of Homelander serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the moral corruption that can arise from exploitation. He is a product of a system that prioritizes profit and control over empathy and understanding. By recognizing him as a victim, we are challenged to confront the systems that produce not just heroes, but also the monsters that threaten our very existence. Despite his horrific actions, the possibility for redemption exists within Homelander. His yearning for acceptance, though often misguided, suggests that he is not entirely beyond saving. The crux of his character lies in his struggle to reconcile his monstrous persona with his desire for connection. If he could confront the truth of his past and the impact it has had on his identity, there might be a path to healing. This notion of redemption is particularly poignant in the context of trauma. The cycle of abuse that shaped Homelander can be broken if he acknowledges his pain and seeks to understand it. His story raises important questions about healing and forgiveness, challenging us to consider what it takes for someone to reclaim their humanity after being so thoroughly dehumanized. Can a being forged in trauma ever find redemption, or is he forever destined to be a puppet of his past? Homelander's character resonates far beyond the confines of a fictional universe. He serves as a mirror reflecting the struggles within our own society. His narrative prompts us to confront uncomfortable truths about the systems that create and perpetuate suffering. We live in a world where power is often wielded without accountability, where individuals are exploited for profit, and where emotional neglect can lead to devastating consequences. By recognizing Homelander as a victim, we can better understand the complexities of human behavior. His story serves as a reminder that our actions are often shaped by our experiences. It invites us to examine the ways in which society can contribute to the creation of monsters, urging us to foster environments that prioritize compassion, empathy, and understanding. Ultimately, the tragedy of Homelander lies in the fact that he is a victim of a system designed to create weapons, not human beings. He is a cautionary tale about the consequences of unchecked ambition and the moral vacuity that can arise when profit is placed above people. His story encourages us to think critically about the societal constructs that breed violence and despair. As we grapple with the duality of his character, both victim and villain, we are compelled to ask deeper questions about our own humanity. How do we define heroism? What does it mean to be truly powerful? And most importantly, how do we prevent the creation of more beings like Homelander? In seeking answers to these questions, we may find pathways toward a more compassionate society, one that values empathy over exploitation. In a world that often reduces characters to simple archetypes, Homelander's complexity serves as a powerful reminder of the intricate web of factors that shape human behavior. By viewing him through the lens of victimhood, we open the door to understanding not just his pain, but the collective suffering that can arise when individuals are dehumanized. Homelander embodies the consequences of trauma, isolation, and manipulation, urging us to reflect on our own societal structures. His story is not just a tale of villainy. It is a narrative that speaks to the depths of human experience and the possibility of redemption. Understanding his pain might be the first step toward breaking the cycle of abuse, paving the way for healing, both for him and for society at large. Through Homelander, we are reminded that the lines between hero and villain are often blurred, challenging us to confront our own complicity in the creation of monsters.